Hello and welcome to your news edition. These are the headlines. In a phone call with the rector of the Grand Mosque of Paris, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, hails the efforts of this religious institution that succeeded to organize a trip for 900 young Algerians from our national community living in France to summer camp. The works of the second Russia-Africa Summit and its Economic and Humanitarian Forum under the theme for peace, security and development begins on Thursday in St. Petersburg in Russia. Instructed by the President of the Republic, the Minister of Interior, Local Communities and Urban Planning, Ibrahim Rad, visited the provinces touched by the fires to convey condolences to the families who lost their relatives. The wave of solidarity movement towards the affected regions continues. All the necessary means are being deployed to help the victims and their families. Welcome back. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, had a phone call with the rector of the Grand Mosque of Paris, Shamsuddin Hafiz, and hailed the efforts of this great religious institution that succeeded to organize a trip for 900 young Algerians from our national community living in France to summer camps in Algeria, which allows them to discover the great Algerian history. The President of the Republic reiterated his full support to the rector of the Grand Mosque of Paris, encouraging him to renew this kind of initiative to create a consistency of environment between Algeria and France. After visiting touristic places in their country of origin, a group of children and young Algerians living in France left Algeria from Schleff Airport to Paris. This special trip was organized by the Grand Mosque of Paris with the coordination of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, on the instruction of the President of the Republic, who also ordered the mobilization of human resources in ports and airports to welcome the members of the Algerian community in the best conditions. As promised by the President of the Republic to our community settled in Italy, few months ago, a new Algerian consulate was inaugurated this Thursday by the Algerian ambassador to Italy. The works of the second Russia-Africa Summit and its Economic and Humanitarian Forum under the theme for peace, security and development began on Thursday in St. Petersburg in Russia, with the participation of Prime Minister Ayman bin Abdelrahman as the representative of the President of the Republic. 49 African countries took part to this summit. During the opening ceremony, the Russian President Vladimir Putin expressed his country's commitment to deepen the trade relations and investment with Africa. He also greeted the great potential of the continent, where the GDP is increasing better than in any other regions in the world, knowing that the first Russia-Africa summit boosted the cooperation between the two parts. The trade exchanges reached $18 billion. The Russian President Vladimir Putin welcomed the representative of the President of the Republic and the participating delegations at the Russia-Africa Summit. Prime Minister Ayman bin Abdelrahman held talks on Thursday with the Vice President of the Transitional Sovereignty Council of the Republic of Sudan, Malik Agar, an opportunity to recall the brotherly relations with the two countries and exchange views on the efforts that aim to overcome the crisis in Sudan. A Russia-Africa Summit for peace, security and development, which comes at the right time. It's a meeting that will highlight the experience of Russia as well as the great potential of the African continent. More details with Iman Mahjoubi and Rania Al-Bahri.
With steadfastness and a clear vision, Africa is moving towards opening up to the world and positioning itself with new regional and international coordinates based on the principle of economic integration. Algeria, as a key partner for Russia, is advocating one of the strongest platforms for sovereignty and equality to achieve a global balance. I have been a student here in Russia for 3 years. I'm very happy with this because it will help us in several areas, including free movement to our countries. This summit is very important for us as African students. This will allow the emergence of African culture. For me, this summit is a real start for economic cooperation. Algeria implements an active strategy by maintaining bilateral and multilateral relations with different countries and international organizations. It seeks to promote dialogue and mutual understanding with other nations to develop sustainable partnership. The initiative of the President Abdelmajid Tebboune from Russia is very important, not only for Algeria but also for all Africans. Africa needs to communicate with other countries, especially with the development of means of transport. Algeria concretized this idea through the launching of the Trans-Saharan Road project, which arrives until Abuja. Algeria today works to open new airlines. Algeria is a country whose history is known throughout the world. The Russians like to visit Algeria. We want to have other prospects for partnership, particularly in the field of tourism. This event, which intervenes in a context marked by political changes, will make it possible to highlight the Russian experience and the great potentialities of the African continent. There is an intense presence of the media to cover this summit. This summit reflects the great interest that Russia attaches to Algeria as it seeks to create an important position on the African continent through bilateral investments and partnerships. This important meeting is an opportunity and a platform to bring together favorable conditions for the development of economic and trade relations between the Russian Federation and African countries.
Algeria is participating in the forum that comes under the theme of peace, security and development, and it is in regard of the important economic and trade volume between Russia and Algeria, alongside the significant role performed by Algeria in a continental level. Walid Qadri and Sabrina Ferganit with more details.
As the Russia-Africa summit kicked off, a large-scale exhibition and a platform specially dedicated to business meetings were put in place to facilitate the interaction of the Russian-African cooperation in various fields and axes. Taking part in this international event, Algeria's main concern is to seize this great opportunity to promote the Algerian product to the Russian and African markets. This exhibition allows us not only to promote the national product, but also to enhance the cooperation with Russia and extend it to other sectors. It is also the occasion to reinforce Algeria's presence economically at an international level. The important geographical asset that Algeria has attracts numerous Russian economic operators. Several companies operating in different fields show their big interest in Algeria, representing great investment opportunities.
We have some plans going to Africa and Algeria personally. I think that we will understand the demand there. We would like to export our production here. And of course, after we understand the demand, we will invest some money into production sites in Algeria, maybe open a company there, maybe build a factory, because I think that we can also export from Algeria. We are looking for partners in this country, of course, definitely.
We are really interested in making business with Algeria. We really believe that it can be a great start to enter to African markets as well because of great historical relationship between Russia and Algeria. And we really believe that we can make not only business by selling our devices, but make a transfer of technologies. Our great history between Algeria and Russia helps us to enter Algerian market, I suppose, more easily because the quality of Algerian engineers is rather high. So we understand each other quite easily to make a factory together with Algerian investors and make big production processes there with a lot of employees, new engineers' jobs, and good quality products.
A favorable environment for all parties to develop trade and economic relations is created through this international event. It is also the occasion to exchange expertise and diversify the Algerian-Russian cooperation.
Instructed by the President of the Republic, the Minister of Interior, Local Communities and Urban Planning, Ibrahim Merad, visited the provinces of Tizi Ouzou and Bouira to offer condolences to the families who lost their relatives in the recent fires. Ibrahim Merad was accompanied by the Minister of National Solidarity, Family and Women's Issues, Kauthar Kriku. More details with Daniel Bahri.
Here in the house of the Bershish family in Tizi Ouzou province, Algeria proves its permanent stand-in with its citizens to alleviate their suffering in the hard time. Charged by the President of the Republic, the Minister of Interior, accompanied by the Minister of National Solidarity, paid a visit to the families who have lost their relatives to offer their condolences and solidarity aid. Algeria has been deeply affected. Even the President of the Republic is much affected as his people. We came here to convey our condolences. There was huge work done by the public authorities with all their units. On the occasion of this visit, there was a stop at the proximity cells, which had a prominent role in supporting the efforts of civil defense units in stopping the fires. In addition, to provide psychological support for those affected and accompanying the affected families. We were in Tizi Ouzou province to present our condolences to the family that lost 3 of their relatives. Now we are in Bouira province to present our condolences. We noticed the tight coordination between all sectors to stop the fires and evacuate the victims and families in a timely manner in order to preserve their lives. The Minister of Interior with the family of Brach Said in Zbarbar municipality in Al-Akhdariya affirmed the President's keenness to take great care of the citizen in all circumstances and to expedite the examination of the losses in order to initiate the process of compensating all those affected. Whenever the citizen is, we came to him to stand with him. This is a symbolic subsidy, but the great work will come. Thanks and praise remain to the civil protection personnel, who are always on alert to save lives in these circumstances.
In Shlef, Mila and Steve, members of the National People's Army were buried after Diana's martyrs while fighting fires in Bjaya in the 5th Military Region, especially in the municipalities of Al-Qasr and Nixila. 10 soldiers died and 25 others were injured.
Allahu Akbar. الواجب الوطني وهؤلاء سلسلة الله أكبر. ربي يجعلكم ذريعة صالحة إن شاء الله. إن شاء الله إن شاء الله جزاك الله خير. هذه الصورة بتاع المرحوم. هذه صورة المرحوم.
الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده. الصلاة على الجنازة بارك الله فيكم. ونقه من الذنوب والخطايا.
The villagers of Aitali in the municipality of Tuja buried their 3 martyrs who passed away during the fires. Civil local authorities attended the funeral and expressed their condolences to the families of the victims. The aid and solidarity movement continues in provinces affected by the latest fires. In Jijil and Bjaya, all the necessary means are being deployed for the victims. Sabrin Tafergnit.
The movement of solidarity has been intensified following the latest fires that broke out in several regions of the country. Here in Ziama Mansouria in Jijil province, a disaster relief program has been put in place where food and medicines are distributed. Since this disaster, the Solidarity Directorate, the Red Crescent associations, alongside the concerned authorities, provided for us the necessary help. They came to us and recorded the damage caused by the fires. I am thankful for the help. The wave of solidarity reflects the high awareness of the people amid the difficult times and circumstances. These operations will continue as long as the census operations are still going, and we are here to provide and bring the necessary help. In Bjaya province, similar operations are being carried out. The necessary products are organized and transported via vehicles for the victims. The catastrophe that affected the inhabitants of the provinces of Bjaya, Jijil, Bwira and Skikda have emerged this wave of solidarity. In the upcoming days, other vehicles will bring the necessary items and products for the victims. Fundraising operations were scheduled, others are programmed for the next days for the benefit of the victims.
In application of the Article 11 of the Criminal Procedure Law, the prosecutor of the Republic at Sidi Mohammed Court informs the public opinion that he arrested 12 accused people after the forest fires in several provinces. The Borders Counter-Terrorism Unit at the Court of Sidi Mohammed took the case from the public prosecutor's offices at the courts of Amizor, Lakhdariya, Aqbu, Al-Harrosh, Kolo and Tamalous. A judicial investigation was initiated before the investigating judge ordered their pre-trial detention. The Minister of Energy and Mines, Mohamed Arkab, held a video conference meeting with the Azerbaijani Energy Minister Parviz Shabazov. They reviewed the investment opportunities between the companies of the two countries, especially in the sector of hydrocarbons, and talked about the development opportunities of the cooperation relations between the two countries in the sector of energy. The two ministers also mentioned the ways to intensify cooperation and exchange of expertise between Sonatrach and the Azerbaijani national oil and gas company SOCAR. In Niger, the head of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, condemned in the strongest terms any attempt to seize power by force and undermine democratic governance, peace and stability. He called all the concerned ones to protect the constitutional order. The president of the Continental Commission of the African Union, Moussa Faki Mahamat, also condemned the betrayal of the members of the Republican Guard and urged them to stop their actions. The president of Comoros, Azali Assoumani, called from St. Petersburg for the restoration of the constitutional order in Niger, where the president Mohamed Bazoum is retained by members of his guard. The Economic Community of the West African countries condemned the power-seized attempt in Niger and called for the liberation of the President Bazoum. The head of the diplomacy of the European Union, Josep Borrell, also condemned from Brussels any attempt to destabilize democracy in Niger. The United States are worried about the situation in Niger and called for the immediate liberation of the President Mohamed Bazoum. And with this, we wrap up our edition. Thank you for being with us.